Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for another video to add to the one I did about a year and a half ago on building your preparedness library. So today I'm going to be talking about some new books that I've recently added to my library, plus one that I've mentioned in previous videos before. Now, since in my other video I also go over many other types of books that I recommend you have, whether they be types or specific books, I'm going to go ahead and link to that video down below in the description box. Please make sure you go check that out, because I cover some different herb books, medical type books, and so on that I think are really important to have in your library. So today's focus is going to be a little bit different, but still a part of the overall preparedness and self-sufficiency. And before I get started on these books, I want to make sure you understand right up front that though I've read through sections of these different books, though I've looked through all the topics within the books, that is what I'm basing this off of, because I have not had time, especially these here, because they're brand new. I just got them a few days ago. There's no way I've had time to read through 12 books, nor these ones, because they are also very new. But again, I have selected different topics that I've read through to get an idea of the layout, the type of information that's presented, as well as seeing all the different topics that are in there so that I can feel pretty good about what I'm sharing. So as such, those of you who have any of the books I'm going to be talking about and have read through them in their entirety, please share with us down below. Or even if you haven't read through all of them in their entirety, just share with us down below anything that you've gleaned from the books that you found to be very helpful, your thoughts, anything on that, so that people can learn from you as well. So let me start first with these ones that were sent to me by Kathy Harrison. She is the author of these two books, and she sent them to me at no cost. And no requirement for me to do a review, but I did take time to glance through them. And I have to say, for those who are just getting into preparedness or thinking about getting into it, these two books are both an excellent place to start, and also are going to be a little more cost effective at just getting started. Now, the thing I love about this one in particular, this is the one I recommend the most actually for those just getting started, because she covers all the necessary topics and it's laid out very nicely. I love things that are laid out very well, lots of color and photos and just visual guides, as well as things that are highlighted and categorized to be able to immediately recognize some important things that are noted in each of the sections of the book. So again, really highly recommend this one. And the other one that she wrote, the thing that sets this one apart, even though she covers a lot of the same things as in this book, this one is more about going into depth on how to do specific things, including adding recipes of things that you can make from your stored food, be it dried, dehydrated, canned, and so on, and how to pressure can, and so on. So I would say this one is definitely more about building the skills needed to do these different things. So I do believe these are best going in tandem. However, if you're wanting to start with just one book and you're new, this is the one I recommend you start with. I believe it's well worth the cost. So now I'm going to go to the next one that I believe is going to be the most cost-effective book, far more so than the highly advertised and very strangely laid out the Lost Ways books, because they're not all the same. They're very strange. I did do a review based on the two different books that were supposed to be the same that we ended up getting, one paperback, one hardback, that I'll link to down below, because I compared a lot of the differences and confusing things about the two different books. But even though there's good information in them, to me they're not very thorough. And for the cost you pay for those books, it's just not worth it when you can pick up this book here. As you can see, is very thick, very, very small writing, so lots of information in here, by Carla Emery. A lot of you that have been following Homesteaders on YouTube for a long time will remember Esther Emery and Fouch family. So Carla is Esther's mom. And anyway, very excellent book. Not a whole lot of pictures, but there are a few important diagrams and stuff, lots of information. So this is going to be the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to information and learning skills than any other book that I know of so far. So again, this is why I've mentioned this one several times in other videos. So anyway, biggest bang for the buck because you're getting the most information for the smallest amount of money in relation to any of these. Now, the other one, this whole set, now this one, I've been waiting to buy this for a while because of the cost. I didn't want to just buy 1 or 2 books. I wanted to get the whole set, but it was an expense. However, when I saw this full set for $215 on Amazon, that was the cheapest I've seen the full set from anywhere because I've looked on eBay, I've seen it as much as $500. Almost bought it for that one time and I thought, no, I'm gonna wait. And I'm so glad I did because I paid less than half that for this set. And these are all brand new copies right here. Now you can also look for individual copies or sets, like maybe the first 3 or 4 books on eBay that might be slightly used. That would be a good place to start. In fact, some people may not be interested in all 12 books. If you decide to shop for these, just kind of weigh out the benefits and look at what each book is about. Now, there's one book in here I could have pretty much done completely without because even though I'm a very strong believer in the Bible, there's a lot of that particular book, I think is book 7. It's all based on religious stuff and not all of it is stuff that I am into or agree with, but that's just me personally. Some people may really like that. And yes, it's book 7. So that one is Ministers and Church Members, Revivals and Baptisms, nothing wrong with those. Sheep, note, and gospel singing, nothing wrong with that. And then the other ones are faith healing and camp meetings, foot washing and snake handling, just some of the stuff that's in there. So I'm sure some of you will understand there's a couple of those topics in there that don't apply to me. But anyway, the rest of them, you're still going to find some different topics in the rest of them that may not apply to you, but also some very, very good topics. So I would almost recommend, if you're just wanting to give them a try, maybe look for a set of just 3 or 4, starting with the very first ones. I think that's going to be important. Now, some of the different topics, I'm just going to list off a few of the topics that are in these 12 different books, and that is various things that you can build that actually shows you how to build it, such as wagons and wagon wheels, different types of mills, log cabins, ox yokes, chairs, fiddles, and other musical instruments, some of them made from gourds, quilting, spinning, and weaving, food preservation of different varieties, gardening, animal care, hide tanning, blacksmithing, midwifing. I think that is highly, highly important, by the way. And that one is in book 2. I thought I'd let you know that. And the log cabin building is in book 1. Hunting, fishing, cooking, recipes, and so much more. The list is long. I could be here for a very long time talking about just the topics alone that are in these. If you've never heard of the Foxfire books, I think I actually first heard of them from my father-in-law, Pat's dad, who grew up in North Carolina and actually knew some of the people that contributed to these books. So that's one of the important things about these books is the information that people contributed, people that really practiced and did these things. They grew up with this stuff, they learned all this stuff from their parents and grandparents, and they practiced this stuff. And so that's all their contributions. Now these were written starting, I think, in 1970. It might have been started before that, but the first book was published in 1970, and then so on. The 12th book being the newest. I didn't see what the publication date on that was. One of the things I really like about it is some of them are just stories that people share, which it can be very enjoyable to read. And again, real people and written phonetically in the way these people talk and pronounce things, which I absolutely love, especially since my father-in-law is a born and raised Tar Heel. And so I'm very familiar with that. So that that to me actually makes these books even more special for me and Patrick. And we did, after these books came in, we called Patrick's dad and told him about them and talked for quite a while. He mentioned, did a lot of name dropping of the people that he knew that contributed, and sure enough, we found some of their names within the books, because the names are listed at the back of each book, and there's a lot of people that contributed. Have not had a chance to look at the names in every single one of the books, but we did find several of the ones that he brought up. And one more thing I want to bring up is that I didn't list in here is there was a lot of natural remedies in home care that people did, because you got to understand that these people that put this information in here, they couldn't afford to go to the doctor. There was a lot of things they couldn't afford to do, and so they were very creative, inventive, and had a lot of skill and knew how to take care of things themselves. They had to. Necessity is the mother of invention, by the way. Those were the three main things I wanted to cover today. And I recommend, if you can afford the expense, yes, go ahead and get the whole Foxfire series. But if you can't, remember Carla Emery's book, Biggest Bang for the Buck. When I bought it, I paid $20 with free shipping. I think it's still under $25 at this moment that I'm shooting this video. But even if it was more than that, that's definitely still worth the cost, especially when you consider the Lost Ways is charging $50 for a book that has a fraction of the information you can find in here. And then again, the Prepping 101 in particular, if you're just getting started, and if you can afford to add this book to that, then yes, I would do that as well. Now, don't forget, I'll be linking to the various different videos down below, and the one I really would like you to go back and watch for sure is the one where I talked about all the other books, the herbal books and medical books I recommend, plus some other ones as well. So make sure you at least check that out. That'll be in the description box along with any other links, and how to access that if you're new to how all this works. If you're on a computer, you click on Show More right down here in all caps, right below my channel name. And if you're on a smart device, it'll be in the form of a little gray arrow over here. Just touch that, it'll open that description box, and then you'll be able to see all the links and any other information, our email address, our Etsy store, blah, 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 blah. All that kind of stuff is right in there. So anyway, please share your experiences with any of these books and any other books that you think people should consider putting in their library. All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.